Okay, the fabricator says exactly what it says on the tin. Am I naked in front of millions of viewers?
Absolutely.
Ladies, your viewing figures just went up. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who Series 1, Episodes 12 and 13, Bad Wolf and The Parting of the Ways, the epic series finale, the last two episodes of Series 1 and the final two episodes of the ninth Doctor series. This is the final story, and what a way to go. The main plot sees the Doctor, Rose and Captain Jack, after taking Margaret Slevine from Boomtown back to Raxfala, whatever, and after another adventure in Japan in the 1300s, they're then taken out of the TARDIS by this little transmat. A nice little touch that, on the TARDIS you've got the doors and it's got the police box from the outside. This is the first TARDIS to do so. Got bits of the police box from the outside inside, and you've got some other bits around to represent the other bits of the police box. Well, I like how the light that kidnaps Rose in one of the scenes is coming from the wall, and it's she's going underneath one of the other police box rails where the sign would be. So that's really cool. That's a nice addition. So there's another door around there. Anyway, so the Doctor, Rose and Jack are taken out of the TARDIS and are placed in some games. They've been taken by the controller of Satellite 5, and they've been hidden in the game so that her masters, who we'll find out about later, there's some nice Easter eggs throughout throughout episode 1. I'll just say part 1. Throughout part 1 that hint at who it is. Just so long as you haven't seen the next time trailer at the end of Boomtown, by the way. I'll talk a bit more about that later. But anyway, so she's placed them in the games so that they will not be detected by her masters, and she's hidden the TARDIS upstairs on floor 500. So the Doctor, Rose and Jack have to fight and or play through their games in order to survive. The Doctor manages to escape after using some trickery, and Jack uses his compound laser deluxe to destroy two robots. To be honest, I think out of all the games, like we see at the very least, I think Jack's one, some mentioned by Linda, this new friend by the Doctor, Linda with a Y. Linda with an I got killed off before the end of the story. Anyway, so I think Jack's might be the safest game before the end of that game. I think if you're just going through the different levels of a game, well, I say different levels, different days, etc., then I think his is actually the safest until the face-off. I actually think he's actually quite safe just trying on all of these different clothes and stuff. And then when they get to the face-off, then that's when he's in real danger. But with the other games, it seems like any moment they could die. With Weakest Link, for example, if you are the weakest link of the round or of the game, if you are the weakest link of the round, then you pretty much you're dead. And Big Brother, you could be evicted and you get killed off. Oh yeah, nice touch of having these game shows. I mean, yeah, they're more 2005 centered. They're a bit dated by 2013. When Mr. TARDIS Reviews did his review, a very good review, and it's 2019, so they're pretty much very dated now. Big Brother's the only one that's still going, and even then, I don't think many people give that much of a shit. I mean, it might still get good viewings, but it's probably nowhere near as high as probably what it was in 2005. Nice touch on having, I think the host of Big Brother at the time, the hosts of Davina McCall, and also Trini and Suzanne. Suzanne from the fashion show, and of course Anne Bloody Robinson as the android. Oh, it's great to have those people voice their android counterparts, especially Anne Robinson. Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, and the android appearance in episode 13 is also really cool as well. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about what happens in episode 13 in a bit. Anyway, so the Doctor and Jack escape from the games with Linda with a Y. I'll just call her Linda, but they still have to find Rose, and they can't really, in a race against time to get to her. And eventually they do manage to get to her, but the android zaps her out, and they get caught by the security guards. I thought the controller said no security. Maybe she could have sent a message. Anyway, we do get my least favourite scene of the entire episode, episode 12, and probably my least favourite scene of the entire story. I'm going to come back to the Rose Mickey stuff that I mentioned in the last review later, but I think this is the worst scene of the two-parter. And that's where the security guards take the Doctor, Jack and Linda to the security base, and they're pretty much just dicks. They're not even doing their job, they're just being fuckers. I can understand them being harsh on Jack because he was pointing a gun at people, but with the Doctor and Linda, they were just intruding. They didn't really do anything wrong. And they're being treated like shit. There is a nice mention of the Lunar Penal Colony, which is a reference to Frontier in Space. But that's really about it, and also an Easter egg of who the main baddie is with the mugshot background. But apart from that, these bastards are just, well, bastards. I'm glad that the scene's over within a minute, and also the Doctor and Jack are able to throw a couple of guards up against a wall. In fact, yeah, the Ninth Doctor throws guard against a wall. He's not taking any more shit. He's just lost his best friend, and these guards have been nothing but fuckers. So of course he's pissed off, and he's going upstairs to sort things out. Wow, wow, the Ninth Doctor's he's being a badass, and it rocks really well, especially it gives those bastard guards what they bloody deserve, in my opinion. Well, it's a fact, they deserve it. Anyway, up on floor 500, they find out what they need to know, basically, by talking to some guys. And of course, the Doctor's not going to shoot anybody, even though he's got the big gun, he's not going to shoot anybody. Anyone who thought that kind of is a bit of an idiot, that the Doctor was going to use the gun on anybody. The only one he probably would have used it on is that Dalek back in episode 6. Anyway, so they discover the truth, and it also reveals that the disintegrator ray that takes out the losers is actually a secondary transmat that transports them across space to a spaceship, a saucer, in fact. Who is it? Well, as soon as we see Rose on that ship, we see the Eye. But I'm not going to reveal it just yet, because the controller then gets kidnapped by her so-called masters, and we see the final reveal of who it is. But I'm not going to tell you who it is just yet, because I'm about to. And they find out where the sources are in space, so they look them up, and they see, holy shit, those sources look amazing, and that music. Okay, with the audience, even if you haven't seen the Boomtown trailer, you know what's coming up as soon as Rose sees it. As soon as Rose wakes up, the audience finds out who's behind all this. But I'm going to tell you right now, because it's such a big moment. It turns out that the villains behind the Satellite 5, the ones who installed the Jagrafest back in Long Game, because this is a sequel to the Long Game, or that was a prologue to this story at least. This is Satellite 5, the game station that was formerly the new broadcast station. So these masters had planted the Jagrafest to be in charge of the human race. And then once that was done, it was their puppet. And now that's out the way, they can take the humans from the game station and make them as new members of their race. That's new members. What am I talking about? And these creatures are, of course, the Daleks. Oh, as if one Dalek wasn't good enough. Oh, now we've got an entire army of them. Oh, this is such a brilliant twist. If only the next time trailer from Boomtown hadn't ruined it an episode in advance. But if you ignore that, then the episode Bad Wolf takes a lot of time to build it up. It's building up this entire story, waiting for us to find out who are these masters, who's behind Satellite 5, who's the controller talking about, and we get some really nice Easter eggs throughout the story. And then we find out, and it's so amazing. Oh, it's so beautiful. And the final scene where the Doctor talks to the Daleks, oh, that is pure gold. That is epic writing, epic execution. That is just amazing. And the perfect deliveries from Christopher Eccleston and Nicholas Briggs as the voice of the Daleks, who, once again, well, as always, I should say, as bloody always, Nicholas Briggs is pitch perfect. In fact, he's just perfect. Oh, and this cliffhanger is a cliffhanger for the Daleks, definitely, as well as the audience. It's so... it's so good. It's so fucking good. Oh, this could be the best ending of the series. Best ending of an episode in this series. Although I think episode 13 might slightly top it a little bit. But we'll get to that. Anyway, episode 13. So the Doctor and Jack go and rescue Rose. Of course, Jack uses his big gun that we'll see him use again in episodes 12 and 13 of series 4. But this time, in this story, he only uses it once and doesn't use it ever again. Yeah, it could have been really useful, but I guess it was too easy for Jack to destroy It was a gun that would help Jack destroy Daleks too easily. So it would be written out of this story, but when series 4's finale comes around, it'd be written back in. Anyway, so the Doctor, Rose and Jack then go out to the Dalek ship and try to find out how they survived the Time War. And then it's revealed that these Daleks were made by, are mostly half-human in a way, as they've been made from humans. And they've been done this by the Dalek Emperor. Oh my god, the Dalek Emperor! I mean, oh my god, he looks so cool as well. He looks amazing. I mean, I loved the Emperor from The Evil of the Daleks, but this one takes the cake of best Emperor designs. I mean, you got some pretty weak ones in the comics. I mean, yeah, it was nice to have an Emperor Dalek in the comics, but when we got to Evil of the Daleks, oh, cool. That's an Emperor. And now, oh my god. Oh, yes. This is amazing. And I love that they used a model Emperor Dalek, a scale model, and they just put it, they probably filmed it, and then they put it on the green screen behind everyone else, so it looks gigantic. And these scenes with the Doctor and the Emperor Dalek are just amazing. So many great moments. The Emperor Dalek considers him a god for creating all these Dalek lives. He considers him the god of all Daleks. Worship him! Worship him! Worship him! Yeah, as the Doctor says, they're insane. Oh, this is just so amazing. It's so fun to watch. The Doctor does have a bit of a carefree attitude throughout part of this scene, though. But at the end of the scene, when he's back in the TARDIS, he has his head up against the TARDIS doors. And, you know, all his happy-go-lucky attitudes in the scene just gone was an act. The Doctor is, well, he's distraught. So, wow, great performance from Christopher Eccleston. So, well, once again, this is his last episode, so it makes sense. Anyway, so they then prepare the game station for defense against the Daleks. Earth pretty much ignores any attempts to warn them because they shut down the game, so they took away their license. Yeah, Earth, you're about to be invaded by an alien race. So, yeah. The whole continents get bombed later by the Daleks, so serves you bloody right. You had the chance to be saved, and you didn't take it, because all you were caring about was your stupid game shows. Idiots. And that's why the human race may or may not be eligible to continue existing, because they're stupid. Yes, I know I am human, but yeah. Humans are stupid. Anyway, so the Doctor has to prepare this deltaway through the game station, while everybody else has to fight the Daleks or try to keep out of the way so they don't get hurt. Good luck with that. Daleks, after all. So, yeah, the Doctor sends Rose home, which completely upsets her, and Jack leads an army to fight the Daleks. Lots of defenses from the 6 floors below the Doctor. Of course, the Daleks do try to get up to floor 500, but also we get a couple of them going down to other floors and exterminating loads of people, including about 100 people on floor 0. And they pretty much just massacre the place. I mean, we don't really see the massacre, but we see them all coming together onto the floor, saying exterminate, and having everybody back into a single corner or bit of the room, and then we hear the exterminations. Holy shit, that is probably the darkest moment in a Dalek story. I mean, yeah, Dalek was a 12, but this is probably the darkest moment in a Dalek story. The Daleks just go down and kill 100 people on a floor that is completely out of the way of their objective. and they just killed them all just because they registered about 100 or so life forms on a lower floor they were just not Daleks. They were not Daleks, so exterminate them. Wow, that is a very Dalek moment. Oh, I mean, it's tragic, but wow. Anyway, so the Daleks travel upwards. Oh, by the way, that bit comes after the android bits as well. The Daleks then head upstairs, and they pretty much kill everybody, including Captain Jack. Yeah, he should have had a way to have that gun power up quicker. Whilst back on Earth, in her own time, Rose is, well, of course, upset about it, and then she finds out about the Bad Wolf. She realises that Bad Wolf is a message, not a warning. It's a bit of a shame that this happens when Mickey's trying to open it back up to her, and she's distracted. I know it's plot convenience, but it does feel a bit unfair on him. And the worst bit of this episode, not the worst bit of the story, but the worst bit of the episode, and possibly Rose Tyler's worst moment as a character, is where she says she has nothing left. Nothing left here, as in home on Earth. Nothing. Wow. Ouch. I mean, I know, you're upset, but nothing. I mean, you still got your mum, you still got Mickey, sort of, but ow. That hurts. That hurts. Oh well, anyway, Rose and Mickey try to open the heart of the TARDIS. Rose and Jackie have an argument after talking about Pete with references to Father's Day, and then Jackie comes and helps as well, and eventually they open the TARDIS heart, and Rose gets herself back to the Doctor. The Daleks corner the Doctor, and he's prepared to kill them, but he decides he can't. He can't commit double genocide, as the range would destroy the entire human population on Earth, as well as all the Daleks. And after the events of the Time War, yes, the Doctor does change these events, but as far as the Ninth Doctor is concerned, he did commit double genocide, as he wouldn't remember the events of Day of the Doctor, so he can't bring himself to do a second genocide. So he actually loses. The Doctor, he loses and gives up, and he's prepared to let himself be exterminated. This is when Rose, now the Bad Wolf, arrives and saves him. And this is, it's a bit of a Deus Ex Machina, but it's a Deus Ex Machina that's been developing and building throughout the series, and it works. Rose comes and she manages to defeat the Daleks, including the Emperor, and resurrects Captain Jack. It's even cooler in action when you actually see it. And however, the power is too much for her, so the Doctor has to take it out of her and return it to the TARDIS. And they leave, leaving Captain Jack behind by accident. So he'll go on to do Torchwood, so it's all right. We'll see him in Doctor Who terms. We'll see him again in Series 3. Anyway, so in the TARDIS, the Ninth Doctor and Rose just continue travelling throughout time and space. Well, that's what would have happened if Series 2 wasn't commissioned, and they probably would have returned home to Earth to prove Rose was alive again if Christopher Eccleston stayed on for a second series. But Christopher Eccleston only did one series, so you all know what this means. The final scene of the Parting of the Ways, it's time for the Ninth Doctor's regeneration. And my God, did I start getting very emotional when watching that scene? I got emotional watching the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth Doctors leave. And I know David Tennant's one is more emotional in execution-wise, and I know a lot of people get upset about that. And Matt Smith's my favourite Doctor, but I think the one that I'm most sad about is Christopher Eccleston. And I think it's because Eccleston just nails the role all the way through. I mean, yeah, everyone nails the role, but I think Eccleston just, from day one, was perfect. And we've only got one series with him. And I don't know if I'm ready to say goodbye yet. And what's made even more sadder is that this is the best regeneration scene as well. As the Doctor is, he's talking to Rose, and then he pretty much just, they have a bit of a chat that he knows he's going to regenerate. And he's happy, he's okay about it. He's fine, he's reassuring Rose and the audience that everything's going to be okay. He's not going to see them again in this body, but he will see them again. And before he goes, he wants to tell Rose that she was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Do you know what? So was I. Well, that's what he says. And now the heroic Ninth Doctor, whose character arc has been fulfilled by influencing others to save the day. Now he's the hero, and Now he gets the chance to be the hero by saving his friend, and with his arc completed, and with him healed after the events of the Time War. He's been healed thanks to Rose and other characters. He's now ready to move on and regenerates into David Tennant's 10th Doctor. And I think David Tennant's first lines are some of the best first lines of a Doctor as well. They're nice, short and simple and sweet. There isn't much time with our new Doctor, but at time of this story broadcast, there was only 6 months until his first story anyway, so that's okay. It's not like with Peter Capaldi and Jodie Whittaker's first appearance, where you had to wait 8 to 10 months for their first story, and they only got a few seconds. And whilst Matt Smith had about a minute or so in the TARDIS, and you only had to wait 3 months for his next appearance. So actually, having a small but sweet appearance from our new Doctor here, and only 6 months till his first proper story, 5 if you count the Children Need special, then I think this pretty much works. And Christopher Eccleston, I thank you very much for being the 9th Doctor. Here's to you. You were perfect. No, you were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And David Tennant, the new 10th Doctor, the show is going to be in good hands. So thank you in advance. So Bad Wolf and the Parting Ways, fantastically executed as well. Just look at all those shots. Just look at everything that's put into it. So much little good detail. The performances are amazing. Characters are amazing. Yeah, there's a little bit with Rose that doesn't really work in the middle of episode 13. But you know, it's made up for by the ending. And just absolutely gorgeous. Just actually absolutely amazing story. Just wonderfully put together. Everything that could go right goes right, with the exception of a little bit of Rose's character in the middle of episode 13, and also that bastard guard. But apart from those bits, perfect. Absolutely perfect. And it's so amazing. Daleks are at their best. Sorry, Dalek the TV story fans. But I think this is the Daleks at their best, and I love the Emperor. And the Doctor-Dalek relationship seen in Dalek goes even further here. Jack's character development reaches its height. Of course, I'll be happy to see him again in Series 3 and 4 and in Torchwood, but I think it's reached its height as far as Series 1's concerned. Besides the bits I said weren't so good, Rose is still pretty good in this story when she's not at home. And Linda with a Y is also really good. She gets a pretty tragic death. She's sucked into space, and that's if the Dalek didn't fire a second extermination beam before that. And Chris Rex's face when he went with that reaction, perfect. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And he got some other nice characters like these other two controller people who don't really have names, although one of them does call himself Dajesh Patel, I think. But he's not credited as that. He's just male programmer, and his girlfriend's the female programmer. But they're still really great, and I love the android as well, especially in episode 13 with that little cameo. And Mickey and Jackie also have some nice character development in this story as well, and their character arcs throughout the series have come full circle. They do have minor appearances though, but don't worry, the next episode they're going to be a lot more involved, especially Mickey. Not to mention a perfect score by Murray Gold, whose music helps build the atmosphere and the emotions throughout this two-parter and throughout the entire series. He does an amazing job, especially with the scores when Rose has to be sent away. Fun fact, that music score was kind of changed in the editing, but the original version was used for the regeneration scene. I also love the music played during the cliffhanger of Bad Wolf Parting Ways. So perfect. Just some amazing scores here, and it just works so well. I also love the reuse of music from Father's Day. Oh, that's really well brilliant as well. So some really great music scores by Murray Gold. Wonderful. So yeah, on the whole, Bad Wolf and the Parting Ways is a perfect series finale. It's not even that. It's a perfect story. It just everything it needs to do right, and does it with such glamour. There's only really 2 points that I didn't really like, but I can overlook those and just have an amazing time. And that is possibly one of the best cliffhangers. Episode 12 of the entire show, and episodes 12 and 13 have 2 of the best endings of an episode. Definitely of the series, but would also be 2 of the best endings of episodes in the show. So I'm going to give Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways a 10 out of 10. was the perfect way to end Series 1 and the perfect way to end the Ninth Doctor's era, and shows that after 13 episodes, Doctor Who, if renewed for further series, which it was, can continue as a great force just like it used to be, maybe even bigger. And it did. We will be getting to those points later on down the line, but in the meantime, Series 1, thank you for being amazing. And thank you, Christopher Eccleston, for being amazing as well, yet again. So yeah, and Bad Wolf of Parting Ways is probably my favourite new series story after Day of the Doctor. And even then, that might change after that reviewing, so this one could even top that. Possibly. We'll see how it goes. It's definitely top 5 Doctor Who stories of all time, and best new series one after Day of the Doctor. So that's it from Bad Wolf Parting Ways, and that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be doing the Series 1 ranking next, and then I'll be doing the top 5 Ninth Doctor stories. Yeah, you might not think that's necessary because of the Series 1 ranking, but I want it for completion. So besides the Series 1 ranking will tell you what I think of all of the episodes of Series 1, and then we'll just and then the Ninth Doctor ones will just take a look at the best ones. And then after those, we'll be on to Series 2 with the Christmas Invasion. And while Series 2 is not as good as Series 1, or Series 3, or Series 4, and I'm only talking about the 9th and 10th Doctor series at the moment, it's still a very good series. So next time, the Christmas Invasion, and we'll start Series 2 with that. That's it from me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel, so that they can be hidden from the controller satellite throughout Boomtown. I mean, they're a bit dated by, well, at least by 2012. They're a bit dated by 2012-13. There is a nice mention of. There is a nice reference to the Lunar Penal. I mean, yeah, they were a nice little alteration. This is why the human race may not deserve to live after events like this happen. And that's why if events ever like this happened and the human race didn't wake up and try to... And that's why the human race may or may not be allowed to live. And that's why the human race may or may not be eligible to live... Just because there was about 100 people so that were not Dalek. Just because we should have kept that gun with him. Well, shouldn't have. Is when she says she has nothing on Earth, nothing left at home. But now, and what's made even worse, or rather, or even better, is before they go, and then a happy but content, and then a happy and then the Ninth Doctor's character arc's been fulfilled by now. Yeah. And I also think David Tennant's first lines are some of the best post-regenerations. And I think this is... And David Tennant, I thank you. So, that's it. Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways. Fantastic story. Filmed, edited, executed, and perfect cinematography. This story is also perfectly we're going to see more of them in the next episode, though, so don't worry. Their minor appearances here aren't going to... Get ready to finish. I will be doing the Ninth Doctor top 5 stories after... I'll be doing Series 1's ranking. And, yeah, well, Series 2 is not as good as Series 4. So, next time, the Christmas Invasion, and and we'll be starting Series 2 with that, and if you don't count it... Anyway. Okay, the Fabricator says exactly what is...
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and the